Hello and welcome to this lesson on how to read a topographical map. The image behind is a topographical map of the Grand Canyon. And right now, if you've never seen one of these maps before, it probably just looks like a bunch of colorful squiggles. By the end of this lesson, hopefully this image will give you more of an idea of what the landscape and the terrain actually looks like. So the goal of this video is for you to learn the different aspects of a topographical map and to learn to see the topography that map is showing you. The different features we're going to be looking at are the contour lines, how to determine the gradient, and how to find the water flow. Why are we doing this? A topographical map is not so much used for direction. The map on the right is a standard road map. Centrally, it's located on Alabama, and it shows you the different state and interstate routes. A topographical map is more to show you the terrain, the features that are there on the ground. It's an area you generally know about, you know where you're at, and you use it for a variety of different reasons. If you're going camping or hiking, you can use it to see the different types of terrain you might encounter. You can also use it for resource management, and knowing the terrain is very helpful when you're managing different types of resources. First part that we're going to look at are the contour lines of the topo or the topographical map. This left image here is showing you how we go from that 3D real-life image to the 2D map that we look at. You'll see these lines on this real 3D image. These are different contour lines. And these numbers mark the contour interval. And these lines can mean meters, feet, kilometers. Usually there's a key telling you what they mean. If you notice on this top right map, not all of these contour lines are labeled. The contour lines that are labeled, these 400 and 500, are known as the index contours. They are telling you what that elevation is. So we're going to say this is feet, so that's 400 feet. This is 500 feet. What we need to determine here is the contour interval. Again, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 spaces between. Quick math says that's going to be 20. So this is 400, 420, 440, 460, 480, up to 500. This one up here then is going to be 520. Now, the markings here, again, 10, 20, 30, 40, it's a 10, let's say meter interval. This one down here then would be 0, and this line up here would be 50. Now you'll notice there's a little bit more space between the 50 and the top of the mountain. This 50 down here is the same line, but that central nub does not have a higher marking because there is no space for the 60 contour line. What this top circle is showing you on the contour map is that that point in the middle of that circle is somewhere between 50 and 59 meters tall. We can use a topographical map also to show gradient and general shape. The shapes we're looking at here are mostly hills or mounds. This lovely hand-drawn topographical map is showing you 200, 400, 600, top of the hill. This right side, there's a lot more space between the 200 and 600 than there is on this left side. In real life, it would look like a nice gradient, nice easy slope, whereas this side would be more steep. Again, makes sense because 2, 4, 6, there's less space to get from low to high than there is on this side. On this map below, again, this one is nicely labeled as 220, 240, 260, 280 meters. Again, this left side is going to be steeper because there's about an inch of space for it to go from the lowest to the highest point, whereas in this gradual slide, there's almost twice the distance for it to get from low to high. Another useful thing we can do with a topographical map is find different water features. Now, this is a general rule. Is every place that you look for here going to be filled with water? No. Mostly what these shapes here, which is what we're looking at next, these V's, are going to be depressions in the landscape. Now during heavy rain, there's either going to be a river there or a stream that's going to be flowing constantly or ephemerally or just temporarily, depending on the different features that are actually on the land. And you'll see these V-shapes that I was talking about are pointed toward the topmost point on the map, this A. So again, the V is pointing uphill, so the open side is pointing where the water is flowing. This map over here, you'll see those waters flowing towards the ocean. These V's, or kind of C's, are pointed uphill, so the water is flowing down and out. So again, we're using these V's to find the water sources. These gradients or slopes determined by the closest of the contour lines, and the contour lines using contour interval are telling us elevation and change in elevation. So here is again that map of the Grand Canyon, and hopefully it is showing you a little bit more now than it was before. You can see the water actually here is labeled, and hopefully you can also see we have these little V's pointing to different depressions, different points in elevation where water can flow out. We have lines steep, very close together, meaning a steep area. Lines far apart, showing a gradual area or gradual incline. And you can see these little contour intervals. A little hard to see. We have 4,800, 5,000, probably each one's about 100. No, maybe a little less. Either way, these different lines of the different interval are showing you that change in elevation. Again, you can see the different shapes. A very steep area here, more gradual down here, finally coming down to this water plane. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I hope you have now a basic understanding of reading topographical maps and how to use them to see the terrain that they're trying to represent. Thank you.